So if you want to increase your win rate, you have actually just found the perfect video. I'm going to go over each supply and demand setup, explaining why it gets a grade, and by the end of this video, I have made a quiz so you can test your own knowledge. So make sure you pay attention and let's get straight into actually explaining the C setups first. Now, just so you guys know that all of these trades are actually valid, but C setups I probably won't even consider taking ever. I'm just going to show you trades that you should always avoid. So I've got this trade right here. What makes it that bad? Already you can tell: liquidity and the structure. This is your liquidity in this example, because this one right here is a bit too far. Now this is based like a C minus. This is a trade I would never even consider, but I'm just showing you guys which trades you can avoid. So this is your liquidity, and this is taking out its own low. This here and this here, this is taking out its own low right before it comes to the zone. It had a reaction nice here. You could have also just taken it break even, and yeah, just taking a break even. Now, which makes it even worse, is coming right off this demand zone just before hitting our zone. Liquidity is absolutely shit in this example, and also overall we're really bullish. So I don't really have much to explain on C setups, because there's not really much to explain. That this trade is just not good trade. Came really close to tapping. If it did something like this, had a strong push down, nice level of a supply zone, came all the way over here, then took out its own low, then came over here and directly tapped over here, and then also made some like more bearish structure here, and then came with a straight line without making any bullish structure. It would have been a nice trade, but right now I'm gonna have to grade it a C setup. Also, I'm gonna go over each setup like twice. So C setups gonna go over 2 trades, B setups 2 trades, and A plus setups 2 trades, and at the end there will be a quiz. So this is the first C setup. Let me go find another C setup. All right, so I have quickly found another setup right over here. Now, well, you can already see that we are bearish. As you can see, we're reacting from multiple supplies. As you can see, from this supply, from that supply, and that's it for supplies. And so that's number one thing. As you guys know, trend is extremely important. And what makes it even worse is we have this more liquidity here, which is completely valid, but then we made another level of liquidity which failed to break the high. So if we did something like this, created that liquidity, came up here, created this liquidity, took out this high, and potentially taken out that high, then came with this structure down, have that reaction, it would have been really nice. Okay, it would have been pretty nice. But this here is a C setup, would be a trade I would ignore. It is a nice place to take a buy from, but as you can see, this here failing to take the low, failing to take out the high, my bad. And also just coming from supplies, and overall we're really bearish. Also, let me show you how this trade played out so you can see why we avoid these trades, because they lose just like that. And that's the exact reason why you should avoid these trades. This is a completely valid trade, but it's a very low grade trade. Now let me go over the B setups. So here you have a B setup. Now, what I don't like about this trade is because liquidity, as you can already see, is a bit too far. Now it is still valid, okay? Visually you can see it is literally just edging, bro. It's so close to being on the maximum. But what I like about this trade is, as you can see, we are just taking out lows consistently. As you can see, all these lows, and we just broke through all this level of liquidity sitting right over here, all these, but we're coming off a very strong area right now from just the bottom of this move, and that's about it for that. As you can see, which makes this trade good is we have a nice level of a supply zone. We have strong, well, not in distance, but a strong nice area of liquidity. And the most important one is that we are coming so directly to the zone. Well, it's not always the best if we come extremely directly with just massive, basically news candles. But in this example, you would need a retracement soon anyways. And as you can see, this trade even played out pretty nicely as well. So that's about it for the B plus. B grade trade. I actually just pretty much found another setup right here. There you go, right here as well. I believe it did tap. Yeah, that's another B setup. As you can see, the reason why it makes B setup is because the structure back to the zone, and also the liquidity on this is pretty small, and also the place where the supply zone is not the best. As you can see, it's just before this strong gap, so price could just literally have a fake out here like that and then start going into the gap, and also it's part of a straight move down. And to be honest, like I said, I'm going to do 2 examples, but I just found another B setup right here as well. What makes this B setup is because, again, we are part of a straight move. This supply zone liquidity is, it is okay. It's minimum 2 candles in our direction, but the movement to the zone is not good. Bullish structure to the zone, which is not great. And also we have failed to take out this low, and we have, oh, these are just from old videos. And also we have pretty much, yeah, we have failed to take out this low, but we are starting to go bearish. As you can see, starting to react from supply zones, starting to not take out highs. This is pretty much a B setup itself as well. As you can see, it's just not in trend, but that is a B setup as well. But yeah, if we did something like this, so we created our supply zone right here. We had an actual structure of a supply zone, created a nice level of liquidity, took out this low. It's not that like major low because it's news actually. And then we came directly to the zone, had that reaction, and then had a nice trade. So that's about it for B setups. I mean, I did go over like 4 setups, just not, I mean, I didn't go over that, but what knows about this trade is you have this gap over here as well. So usually price wants to, it's like a magnet, these opening gaps from weekends. So price usually wants to come back and fill them as well. But yeah, that's about it for B setups. Let me now go over the actual fun part. So the A+ setups. So you know exactly what trades you should be looking for. So that's about it. Yeah. Now, right off the bat, you have an A+ setup right here. Now, this is just extremely clean. Now, you can't expect market to actually make extremely clean movements like this, because as you can see, it is a little bit of a choppy movement. But as you can see, the supply zone is in a great place, right where all this consolidation is. We have multiple levels of liquidity right here, right here, right here. Well, that's not really liquidity we took out, which took out its own low. This is extremely clean that we have just taken out its own low with a strong break of structure, and also we are just extremely bearish as well. As you can see, there's nothing here. Yeah, just good targets to target for. We have probably so much stop losses below this, so this will be a good target to go for. And overall, this is an A+ setup. Nothing really much to say. That you had a nice reaction of a break of candle entry right here. As you can see, stop loss, just 30 pips max stop loss, and probably just target either this low or some lows back over there, like back in time. And yeah, I even took this trade live. Well, I've basically taken most of these all these A+ B setups live here as well. Yep, pretty much a good trade here. Yeah, just looking at this structure, it is pretty much perfect. I mean, we did have a small supply zone over here as well, I just realized, but that is just that I call it like a B- or a C+ because of the news reaction. Like, there's about 10 candles in that zone, to be honest. Actually, there's like 5 candles in that zone, wicks in the zone, so that makes it worse quality because it's not giving a reaction. Also, liquidity is weak and all that. So let me find our last A+ setup, and then you can take the QAs and you can see your own knowledge. And this is our last example of an A+ setup. I also took this trade live, stop loss about just 1 pip with a directional close. Yeah, so what I like about this trade is you have a decent level of liquidity, and also you have the potential to finally take out this high. Wait. So yeah, so we failed to break this high right here, but that is not the worst thing, because you can't expect it, because as you can see, there was another demand zone here, which I took live as well. As you can see right here, flip entry like this. You can't expect this, well, not this trade, but like you can't expect markets to move in such a straight line. So we were expecting a retracement, and that retracement is exactly where we took this buy, and this is another nice winning trade, as you can see like this. So this JPY period was actually insane. You have another winning trade right here, another winning trade right here, and another winning trade right here, and they're pretty much all A plus. And yeah, but I'm gonna explain this trade right here. As you can see, decent level of liquidity, nice reaction, nice movement to the zone. So as you can see, you have an accuracy zone here, which is in a nice spot, as you can see, not off a straight move. And then you have a zone like this. You have like a structure like that, and then a zone over here. So you have a structure like that, and then a zone over here. Okay, now I'm just making a mess, but as you can see, that's pretty much it for this trade. You have level of liquidity. It's not one candle liquidity, it's not two candle liquidity, it's a decent level of liquidity for that size of a structure. A strong break of structure of this high came directly, fairly directly to the zone, had a nice reaction. It was getting a bit late and had some choppy movement over here, but finally just moved up and hit the take profit level. Failed to, close inside this supply zone. Pretty much great, A plus. That's pretty much all you need to look for. So for the criteria is, you can write these down for A plus setups, is the trend. All right, that is the most like circle that. If you have your notebook out and you're writing things down, just write down trend and just make tons of circles around it, because that's the most important thing, especially if you're trading the higher time frame. Like on the lower time frames, like the 5-minute, it doesn't really matter. But if you're trading like the 30-minute time frame, which I do, then trend is extremely important. All right, at least 70% of the trades. Now the second thing is liquidity, a decent level of liquidity with a strong breaker structure. So let me show you an example of an A plus setup. Now all of you, well, most of you already know that this is all I look for. Perfect setup like this. You have and then structure behind is something like, I don't know, like this. So it just broke all these highs and then took out all these highs and then came straight to the zone. And this will be a bad kind of a trade. You have liquidity like this and then structure to zone like this. That is a not good trade. All right, this is exactly what I try to avoid. This over this 100%. So clear structure, decent level of liquidity, clear movement to the zone, trend. All right, trend is very important, and that's about it. These are the very, good reaction as well, and all that as well. Good level of a zone and all that. But you guys already know it. That's the criteria you need to look for. Now let me go over the quiz, and you can actually test your knowledge, what you have learned about this video. I'm going to show you some examples. You just have to grade it, and that's about it for me. Is this a good zone? No, because the zone is part of a straight move. There's no actual structure on the zone. Which zone is the strongest here? The highest zone, and then the first zone, because the middle zones tend to lose more. Which has good movement to the zone? Both of them have really good movement to the zone, because they're direct. If price creates better structure coming to the demand zone, then it's really bad. Is this zone valid? Yes. Is this good movement to the zone? No, it is a bit too direct. Like I said in the video, that if it comes down with news or something insane, then it's not really good. And for last, is this good structure to zone? No, because it's coming with better structure. Join my Discord. Thank you for watching this video.